See, that's what it's going to look like. You're never going to get used to this. Never get used to this. Around the home, Mina Kimes, Israel Gutierrez, Bill Plaschke, thanks for opening up your homes to us. This is our new normal. Let's get right into this, all right? Mina Kimes, this is the Buccaneers making a choice for Tom Brady, but this was Tom Brady choosing the Buccaneers. Did he make the right choice?
Well, choosing them over a limited pool of teams, because I think the Colts would have been a better landing spot for him from a football perspective, but obviously they went with Rivers. I think the Bucs make sense for Brady in terms of being a team on the rise, having great weapons in Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, a decent, not great offensive line, but schematically it's a little bit confusing, the fit between Arians and Brady. You know, he likes that downfield passing game. He wants the quarterback to hang in the pocket.
Right.
That's what Brady does. So I think there's going to need to be some adjustments on both sides.
Israel Gutierrez, same question to you. Did Brady make the right choice?
Isn't that what we thought, though, going into the Brady situation with the new team, that there would be some sort of compromise, right? It wouldn't just be the new coach's way, or it wouldn't be Tom bringing the he and Belichick way into a new team. It would be some sort of a compromise. So the no risk it, no biscuit thing, I'm not sure if Tom Brady's really going to be all in on that. But in terms of fit, I mean, honestly, you could have made an argument for a lot of teams in terms of fit, in terms of talent, because if you look at the Patriots, you would argue, hey, talent-wise on the offensive end, they didn't have much of it outside of Julian Edelman. So I think, you look at it, if it's from Tom Brady's perspective, when you look at the talent on that team, you've got to be excited about it. Now, all the other parts that go into it, you just don't know. And the thing that I find interesting is the idea of him still playing until 45 is still out there. So it doesn't have to be this year or bust for the Buccaneers to do something successful for the it's Tom Brady's mind.
Here's the mute. Israel, I'm not sure. This is your first around the home. You can get muted here, and you're getting muted right now. Bill Plaschke. I owe you a few mutes, Bill Plaschke, because you only had Los Angeles as an option or Dallas as an option. So eat this mute right now. Eat it, Bill Plaschke. Right, I'll bring you back. Did
You're muting me in my own home.
Yeah.
It's never happened. Well, actually, that happens a lot around here. So I guess Izzy, I don't see him playing to 45. I think he's got 2 years left, and the Bucs are in no position to be Super Bowl contenders in the next 2 years. I think he made a huge mistake. I think he's going to be Joe Namath with the Rams. He's going to be Johnny Unitas with the San Diego Chargers. I just think he never should have left New England. I think he's going to a spot where, again, he has a declining skill set. He was third worst in the league in off-target passes, third worst in the league in red zone passes last year, red zone performance last year. I think he needed a system around him. He needed a system that he was familiar with, a coach he's familiar with. I think he's risking everything. At what price is legacy? At what price did we have not learned anything from the way L.A. bonded around the death of Kobe Bryant and Kobe's longevity here, 20 years in one place? That matters. To stay in one place your whole career, that counts. He blew that chance. I don't understand it.
All right, here's another mute, Bill Plaschke, because I think I'm going to make that L word a banned word here again, because it's his own. He can do whatever he wants with it, right, Mina Kimes?
Yeah, I'm not usually on with Bill because we're both in LA, so I'm going to have to get a fire extinguisher to put out some of those snakes.
It's true.
The Dallas one, my goodness. Yeah,
that was my take.
You're right, but some of those a lot of that off-target percentage you cited is on account of New England's wide receivers not getting separation. None of them come close to Chris Godwin. The other thing about Tampa Bay that I think makes them a legitimate contender, Tony, is they have a rising defense. Under Todd Bowles, they finished 5th in DVOA last year. Started way to DVOA. They are excellent, and Tom Brady's not going to do what Jameis Winston did, which is turn the ball over constantly and get them back on the field.
Oh, man. I mean, his last pass in New England, which is an amazing thing to think about, was a pick 6 in the playoff game. But you're right. Nobody saw this coming except for Jameis Winston because he just had that laser surgery. He saw everything.
Yeah.
Plaschke, make a ruling here on how much of a contender are the Buccaneers and what would be considered a success for Brady here?
Brady's got to get to the playoffs. They've been to the playoffs how many times, Tony? Once in the last 9 years?
Yeah, once.
No. In fact, they haven't been maybe once in the last 12 years, I think it is. He needs to get him to the playoffs.
Season once in the last 9, playoffs once in the last 12. You're correct.
Yeah, I think he can get him to the playoffs. I don't see much more than a one and done. I just don't see it here. I just don't see what everybody sees. A 43-year-old quarterback with declining skills.
All right, mute Plaschke. I mean, this is around the home. This is not a full 30-minute show. Go ahead, Israel.
I think it's tough. I think there's depth at the top of the NFC, right? And even in his own division with the Saints or San Francisco or Seattle or Chicago, if they get their quarterback situation right. So I think it's going to be a tough task to go through the playoffs in the NFC. I do think getting there with the Bucs, just, it's the same as the Sacramento Kings these days when making the playoffs. Like, that in itself is quite the accomplishment. So I think that, again, I'm thinking this is not his final year. So the first year making the playoffs, and then we build from there.
All right. Vegas, if Vegas is still open, which I think it is, but it really isn't, has the Buccaneers already a better chances to make the Super Bowl than the Patriots. That's what they have right now. We're going to take a minute and a half break, I think is what we're calling it around the home. When we come back, who knows what this is? All right? The name of that mascot could earn you a FaceTime right now. Around the home. 5. All right, who knows the mascot name? Come on, earn your FaceTime. Yes, Bill Plaschke, Bucko Bruce. Of course, this is the Brady version. I love this. This is Breaking T. Breaking T doing incredible work because the women's national soccer team jersey, which is, I think, the greatest selling of all time, is awesome. Just awesome. All right, so Plaschke, you earn first take here around the home. You brought it up before, Namath and the Rams. Everyone wants to talk about Unitas and the Chargers, Willie Mays and the Mets, whatever. But the GOATs with their fresh start, do you believe too much is made of their flops and not enough is made of, like, the Peyton Manning won the Super Bowl with the Broncos?
No, I don't think too much is made of it. We're still talking about how Michael Jordan looked in a Wizards uniform. People are still talking about how Willie Mays looked in a Mets uniform. I mean, people still talk about it. No, there's not too much made about it. I think everybody here is downplaying it way too much. It matters how you look and how you go out and how your career ends. And for his career to end in a creamsicle, that's weird. That's just weird.
Mina, Peyton Manning won the Super Bowl with the Broncos. Everyone wasn't sure about that move. It worked. Brett Favre was a pass away from getting to the Super Bowl with the Vikings, a pass he threw. What would be a success for Brady again, and is too much made of GOATs deciding where they want to go for a fresh start?
Yeah, I don't think we're in a position to accuse anyone of having a weird look right now. I would say that around the home. I do think too much is made of it. Yes, people talk about Jordan or maybe Emmitt Smith, but until we talked about it earlier, Tony, I didn't remember that Ronnie Lott played for the Jets. It had just been memorable. And I think there are tons of examples like that. I also think for Brady, success isn't another Super Bowl at this point. Success for him, and he's made this very clear, is showing the world he can still play at a high level into his mid-40s. Yeah. That is what he's trying to do. And I actually think the Bucs have a very good chance of making it to the playoffs, especially with the expanded field.
Okay. Israel Gutierrez, same questions to you.
Well, first of all, I think Bill actually looks better on Around the Home than he does on Around the Horn. It's very warm and welcoming.
Everybody's thinking that.
I do believe that, you sort of, the new team that he goes to in this case doesn't normally have high expectations. So if you do something that they're not used to, I think that will be a success. And I'm glad Mina's finally on board, believing that Tom Brady is going to play multiple years. So going into his mid-40s, I do believe if he just plays at a high level. So maybe that was the deal. Hey, if I've got these receivers, I can still throw it deep. It's just that my team didn't get guys open deep. And so I can still show off what I can do and the arm that I've got. So I think, I don't know if we're going to get into this conversation where I'm going to start with the GOATs in awkward places. Yeah. I would say I still can't get over watching Tony Reali on Good Morning America. That's just weird.
Yeah, I think a lot of people got over that very quickly. I think. All right, but funniest look though, of course it's Jordan and the Wizards, because I think what you need is a color scheme that's the complete opposite of what you wore. And then you need a funny team name. The Wizards is hilarious. I'll nominate Hakeem and the Raptors. Okay? Ewing and the Sonics for me personally. Anyone else want to throw one out, Plaschke?
Wayne Gretzky with the St. Louis Blues wearing that blue note on this thing. That was weird.
Although I would kill for that sweater right now. That was a good look. Israel?
Well, I've got two, and they're my own personal basketball heroes. Chris Mullin as an Indiana Pacer. It just was very weird going from Golden State to Indiana. I know he stayed a few years there, but the telling sign is that he came back to retire as a Warrior, so that tells you everything you need to know.
Don't you think the colors matter? It's the blue and yellow of the Warriors, the blue and yellow.
But the pinstripes and the Pacers, it just wasn't right. It wasn't right for Mully. And I'll tell you one where the colors were off and everything was off is Dwyane Wade as a Cleveland Cavalier. Everything was wrong about that one. Even that year where they did a lot of the pictures, they had some sort of weird, I don't know if it was their city edition, but it was like a gray jersey with the Cavs, and he wore number 9, which is not his number. It was just off. You knew.
Brought up those Pacers jerseys, by the way. Does anybody know who designed those Pacers jerseys? I think the Mullen years, definitely the Rick Smith years. Anyone? You're not into who designed jerseys. Florence Griffith Joyner was the one who designed it. Yes, the greatest printer of all time.
I do remember that, actually.
Yeah, Flojo designed those jerseys. Mina Kimes, you brought up Ronnie Lott and the Jets. That is absurd. You're right about that. Any others?
I'll go to my hometown team and say, Jerry Rice on the Seahawks was a little bit weird because they were in the Reeboks. By the way, if they were in the old school Seahawks jerseys, he would have looked awesome in the royal blues.
All right. Speaking of jerseys, what are you working with there, Israel? I love this look that we get to see everybody in there.
Oh, the I Believe That We Will Win T-shirt from, a couple World Cups ago.
And Mina, I'm afraid to go to you. You showed us your baby teeth before, which I should say you kept your baby teeth very nicely displayed. But that means, breaking news, the Tooth Fairy. So that's good. Maybe you are the Tooth Fairy. Plaschke behind you right now. Plaschke, you're ready to make a toilet paper run. That's what you look like.
Absolutely. I'm going to stand in line right now. I'll be in line for 2 hours, just in time.
All right, and I'm rocking today Scorps, but Scorsese, all right, because that's my guy. Around the Home, we'll be back in, who knows, in a half break. I got to find a better sign-off. Where's my paper toss? Here.